channel. Well, today's project I'm going to be working on some parts for our camper. We have a 1977 camper. It's a Terry that we've rebuilt. Actually taken it down to the frame, built it all the way up, and too bad I wasn't recording on a lot of that. But these are the wheel well outside covers just to kind of dress the outside up. What I'm doing is I'm learning how to plastic weld where all the screw holes are to hold this onto the camper have busted, cracked, broken, or whatever, unusable. So what I'm doing is I'm going in and reinforcing on both of these, reinforcing where the screws go through and into the camper. I've never plastic welded before, and I've tried a little bit here and kind of messed a little bit up, but learning a lot. And what I'm going to be doing is, of course, cleaning up, maybe sanding a little bit to get started, and then taking, I took a screen, I don't know if you can even see that, but I took a piece of screen like you would have on the screen door of a house or whatever, and cut it into small, maybe 1.5 by 1 inch squares, and where you see these holes are at, I'll be laying that down in there, melting that into the plastic with this iron that I got from Harbor Freight. I mean, it was cheap, inexpensive, but I wasn't planning on spending a lot of money on doing this, just getting it done for what I need to use it for, just making it work. Really, that's all what this channel is about. By the way, if you're watching this, click on the subscribe down at the bottom there, and if you'd like to watch, be notified if anything else is coming out, just hit the little bell icon on there, and then you'll be notified if or when I put my wife and I put out the next video. A lot of our videos are contained about things that we just make do with what we've got. I've put this shop together to start doing stuff like this, and we decided to, hey, I don't have a lot of tools, I don't have a lot of expensive stuff to be building or making or whatever, but what I can do, I can share with people, and maybe they can, with the simple stuff that they have, they can make doing the same stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll just work on this one point. I don't even know if you can even see that in there. I'll be working with this one area and show you what I'm doing, and then it'll be rinse and repeat all the way across this whole piece, and that'll strengthen it up. And what I may do is come back every now and then, record a little bit of what I've done, where I'm going with this, so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. All right, it's time to get started. It's important that it's all clean. You can see there's a lot of dirt and stuff on here. And then I'll come in with sandpaper and just rough it up. Kind of get that shine off of there, so that there's none of that smooth surface. Now I'll take a piece of this screening that I cut, and I've also cut, I'll show you here, I've also cut some polypropylene, or some cutting board, and I'm going to use that to kind of reinforce the back side and the front side. So what I'm going to first do is just go ahead and get this all set in here like that. And to start with, I'm just going to hold it down and heat it up, melt this into that plastic. You see right there, my plastic melted, the metal has sunk down into there, and I will do the same right here. Just get it hot, melt it, and sink that plastic into there. And that's what I'll be doing all around, and I will show you when I get further on what it looks like. As you can see here, I've in these different areas. I've heated it up, and in those areas where I've heated up, it shrunk. The screening sunk down into it. And I can show you real quick. You just hold it for a little bit, and then just slide a little. And what that does is the plastic that's melted into just kind of goes over and slides over the top of the metal that you've already got, the screening that you've got put down there. So, and that's actually what I'm doing now. What I'm doing is I'm going to take this chopping board, a piece of this chopping board, the handle that I don't use, and I just start melting it in here. Now, whether this is right, wrong, I don't know. I mean, this is just something I'm doing to reinforce this. Yeah, could I do a little better? Maybe. That's what this is all about: learning new stuff, experiencing new things. You can see it when it gets really hot. It actually starts turning clear. At that clear point, you can manipulate and turn it around and do whatever you want with it. And that's where I'm actually going in and using that as a strength to move this plastic around. And sometimes you got to push real hard, but when this stuff starts melting, you don't have to push hard at all. I mean, it's just the point of just moving stuff around. Make sure you don't get burnt, because it's just like hot glue. It's hot. You can see I'm melting that down in there. And once it's all melted in there, or melted into a clear liquid, and it'll stay hot for a while. So you have to be real careful. And then, now that it's all clear, I'll just come in here and just start moving it around and strengthening the areas where I think it needs to be strengthened. Because it is so hot, it's actually going to melt some of the plastic below it and work its way into where it needs to go. And I'm just creating basically a whole new layer for me to weld up against. And I did from Harbor Freight also get some of these sticks, and I'm just going to attach this on here. I'll cut it off and melt one end in. And you'll see on the videos out there that people doing this, and this is the same basic process that they're doing. You've got a lot of professionals out there that do it, like those that building and repairing kayaks and stuff. This is basically the same kind of stuff they're doing. I'm just doing it unprofessionally. I'm doing it so it's what needs to be done, and getting done with what I have without spending a whole lot of money. Any project you're going to work on, you're going to be spending a lot of money. You're going to be spending money. And I try to reduce the cost, since I've not made a great fortune, nor do I think I ever will. But it's not because I don't want to. It's because I don't have the resources to do that. And you can start seeing what I do is I make sure I keep my blade clean. And just come with that kit from Harbor Freight. And now you can actually see here where it's now starting to cool. I usually take a cold rag and just set it on there to cool it off a little bit quicker, because I want to be able to work on the back side. And I can go all the way around and be doing this, or flip it over and finish each side or each piece that I want to do. What I may do on this one, just so you can see what I'm doing on the other side, I may just turn around, flip it over, so that you can see exactly how I'm handling the back side of that. Okay, this is the back side, or the front side really, that you can see where a rusty nail has actually been gone in here and made a mess, and that's where the nails broke off, and it's actually created a break in that spot. And if you look really close, which I'm not sure if you can see it or not, you can actually see some of that the polypropylene from the other side that I used to come back in from the other side. It was melting through. Now look, I'll sand this down too, because this also needs to be sanded. I don't want to be incorporating a lot of that junk. Even though this is going to discolor in what I'm doing here, just going in and melting some polypropylene inside of there, it's actually going to discolor it. It's going to burn it. But I'm not so concerned about that, because I'm going to come in and sand it down really tight and make it really smooth. And also, after it's smoothed out, then I will use plastic paint and I will paint all of it the way I'd planned on doing. So that's where I am right now. And you can see now that I've got it started right here, I will just work on it like this until it's all melted in. Once it starts melting really good, I have to make sure I catch some of the edges of the actual plastic that I'm welding it to, so that it's mixing. Because I have had at one time, I was messing with it like this, just playing around, and I was able to peel off what I had just welded on, because I didn't join it together. So, and that's what it looks like. Alright, well, I'm going to go through and do the rest of them, and then I'll show you when I'm done. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Right now, you see me take and sand down or plastic weld all these spots that are on these plastic pieces for our camper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint over it. I sanded it all really down good, and you can see this was the one that was busted in half. Plastic welded it together. I did the same on the back side with some screening that I'd used from an old screen door. So I've taken that. Now what I'm doing is I'm coming in and I've sanded it down and prepped it, and I'm ready to paint it. I'm going to take some leftover paint, create a base paint for the original paint that haven't decided yet exactly what color I want to use, but right now I'm just going to get us a base coat, see what it looks like, attach it on the side of the camper. I may even come back with a plasti dip on it. I haven't decided yet. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'll show it to you after I get it done. Catch you in a minute. Well, hey, I'm back. I painted these. As you can see that they're all white, but I had some areas where I'd done some repair on this particular side. And I didn't like how I could really see all of the breaks and the cracks and stuff in it. So I took some body filler and I put body filler in it to fill up the voids that were actually sitting there. And once that dries, I'll sand it down, and then I'll come back in and paint it again, a couple of coats just to cover that area, and then I'll repaint it. Right now I've just got a flat paint on it, and it's just a standard, something you can buy at your local home supply, and I just painted it over just for now, and I'll come back and sand it, and then we'll see what it looks like again. Well, I got them on, and this is what it kind of looks like on the trailer. Ended up putting some screws in and getting it all attached, and I really didn't get out here and video it in time before the wood bees that are digging up in my rafters of my shop here, in my shed, carport. But that's what it looks like. Alright, remember, click if you like our videos and you want to see more, click on like and share it with everybody, and then click on the little bell icon to make sure that you get notified when our next video gets uploaded. Have a good one.